The best way you can support me is with a simple subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing? So Nicki Minaj, let's just put it on the screen now. And I'm gonna go in. She made a great valid point. Here's the top 10 on Billboard's chart right now. And Nicki Minaj had this to say. She said, it's a great time to be a white rapper in America, huh? These are the top 10 rap songs on US iTunes. Shout out to M and Post, two of my faves. Congrats to M on his new album. Forget all that. Here's what Nicki Minaj is saying. She's like, yo, I look at the top 10 there, and we got some black artists putting out music. Let's make it clear. There have been black artists that put out music over the last couple months. It is not prevalent in the top 10. I've been waiting to go in on this one. All right, I've been waiting. So let me go ahead and preface my comments. Unless you want about 6 to 7, 8 minutes of realness, you probably want to leave this video. You are about to get straight realness from me on why the top 10 has been kind of taken over by white artists. And hip hop is a black man sport. Let's make that clear. And it's been taken over, right? And by the way, not enough black women representation as well. You don't want this? If I were you, I would leave this video. This video is not for you. This is the honest truth. All right. First and foremost, let's look at the top 10. And number 1, we got Eminem. I don't know how good that record is. I listened to it a couple times. I like it. But let's make it clear. He just put out an album. His numbers are going to be higher because the project just dropped on Friday. So that's Eminem featuring Ed Sheeran with River. All right. And it's actually a dope record, by the way. Rockstar. Post Malone's been on that chart for quite some time. He's like the prime example of all this. Every time Post Malone come with a record, he's going to use a feature from a black artist. It's just what he's doing. He's the biggest troll of them all. Let You Down. I've never heard this record, but I just searched it and I found out that this guy NF, he is a white artist. Yes. So that right now we're through the top 3 and we got all 3 white artists. G-Eazy, him and I. And number 4, he's a white artist. He just put out his project as well. Again, that record probably won't stay. You got to kind of asterisk that one like the Eminem joint because the albums just came out this week. Now, the Post joint, that's been up there for a minute. Now, at number 5, Gucci Gang. Now, I'm pretty sure Lil Pump's all the way black. He's a very light-skinned brother. I've been next to him before. He looks black, but let's make it clear. That Gucci Gang record is not in the hood. That record it's hit radio, but that joint started with the teens and the white audience. Let's just make that clear. Now, Migos, Motorsport, that's your first black artist, 100%. Migos, even though they're going mainstream, they started in the clubs and streets. So through 6, we got 100% sure, and 1 in a possible, right? With Lil Pump, Gucci Gang. At 7, Macklemore, white artist. Good old days. I mean, come on now. What else do you want me to say? NERD, we're at 8. Now, they made that Lemon record. Don't get me wrong. That is a 100%. That is those black people on that record. But I'll just preface my comments by saying it does not sound like the typical black record, and there is white representation in NERD. So that one is kind of up in the air as well. So y'all could kind of tell me what y'all look at that one. All I know is this: they're not making club music, all right? They're not making club street music that we're used to. So if you really want to categorize NERD, I mean, that's to each his own. But I mean, I'd be the one to tend to believe people would consider this ain't in the streets, right? This is not in the streets. They have white representation. This ain't in the streets. Let's just keep it. Let's call it a spade a spade. I don't want to lie. All right, NERD, they're legends, but they're not. It's not in the street. At number 9, Post Malone. He's got another record, I Fall Apart. So Post Malone's got 2 in the top 10. And at 10, we got more white artists. We got Machine Gun Kelly. So let's just go through this top 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you got possibly Gucci Gang by Lil Pump. You got Motorsports. So for sure, you got 5, what? I don't know, man. 6, 7. So definitely 7 records from white artists in the top 10. The NERD, I'm going to call that a possible. And I'm going to call the Gucci Gang joint a possible. And so we got 1 record for sure, which is Migos, Nicki Minaj, and Cardi B, where it's clearly as black artists. It was clearly meant to hit black, urban. And that's the only record in the top 10 right now of hip hop that you got right now. And that is ridiculous. That is flat foot ridiculous. And you wanna know why we got to this point? Because just like how many African Americans don't feel as if though we count in America, it's the same thing. Everything we make cool, the other side goes and takes over. It is just that simple. Listen, go do your research on country music. Go do your research on every genre of music. 9 times out of 10, it was started by the black audience, and slowly but surely, we've kind of backed away from it. Go do your research on country music. Slowly but surely, after we made it cool, we backed away from it, and then it became a white man's genre, and people are saying that hip-hop is starting to turn into that. I'm telling y'all why I'm the perfect person to talk about it. I just got out of undergrad about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I was at the colleges. Not only was I with the urban crowds, obviously living it up, but I was booked to record these white shows for fraternities, these white fraternities. They were booking artists. I'm telling you, this stuff has been going on for years. I knew we were going to get to this point. Like the white audience were booking artists, right? And the fraternity parties I go to for money and for my resume, right? I was getting interviews at these shows, so I had to be there. These were private events, meaning you go to the show, right? And it doesn't say, okay, I'll give you a good example. K-Camp performing. It doesn't say K-Camp's performing, right? It'll just say Sigma Gamma whatever has this place tonight. So a lot of times, because I went to the University of Tennessee, it was African Americans were the minority at the university. A lot of times we wouldn't even know the artist was in town, because technically if you look at the club, it just says this fraternity has this event and they just decided to bring this guy. He just decided to pull up. You know what I mean? They're booking the venues, not going through the club like saying, club, hey, promote this. Nah, we don't want that. We don't want it to be promoted to everybody. We're just gonna book the venue. We're gonna book the venue, and we're gonna just so happen bring an artist. I seen a fraternity, I ain't gonna say the name of the fraternity, bring K-Cap one time, right? And I BS you not, I was trying to do interviews with the crowd and everything, get people engaged. They didn't even know who K-Camp was. Matter of fact, they didn't even know who K-Camp was when he hit the stage. They thought the guy that was opening for him was K-Camp. They had no idea who he was. At the time, they only knew the Baby Let's Get Comfortable record. That's all they knew. All right, and a couple of the twerk songs. They didn't know K-Camp. When the record came on, they knew that's how they knew it was K-Camp. They didn't know his face at all. Didn't care. They just booked these artists that have cool songs. That's it. So fraternities are a big part of this. I'll tell you another part of this that is crazy to me. Yo, the money in the, like, look, think about it, y'all. When you make these club records, right? When you talk about artists like the Kodak Blacks of the world, Plazas, the Boosties, these are good examples. Down South guys who make music. Like, when they make music, a lot of these guys are still putting it on like free platforms, that pip. A lot of these rappers don't understand the business aspect of it because they just want their music to get to the streets. A lot of us, we ain't paying for the Apple Music when we can find this music on YouTube for free. And for right now, the YouTube money still counts, but it doesn't count as much as the Apple Music stream does. And neither one of them count as much as going out and purchasing music. We don't purchase music in our community like that. Let's just keep it honest. We don't purchase music like that in our communities like the white audience does. So we're getting outnumbered. And we're a minority in this country, right? Period. So when you see artists like 21 Savage and Amigos, and they're able to do West Coast dates at a time, and Amigos are able to tour overseas pretty much anywhere, we're outnumbered. This is, like, yo, it's not even fair. We're incredibly outnumbered, right? And hip-hop is just becoming this thing that everyone wants their part of, because usually, like I said before, African Americans are the cool. Whatever we do is the cool. We make the cool, but we're just outnumbered. Right? And we're outnumbered not just in numbers of people, that helps like outnumber us in money. We just don't have the money to compete. And I'm telling y'all, these teens that go to these shows, and I think y'all forgot, like, yo, it's just not the grown person buying music online. When you go online, I promise you this, that 12, 13-year-old is not going and listen to a new Mace dissing Cameron. He ain't listening to no freaking Kendrick Lamar deep album. He ain't listening to no freaking Black Thought freestyle on Funk Flex. I'm telling you what they listening to. They gonna go listen to that Rich the Kid, My Man, Adidas, New Freezer, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Lil Pump, all that. They're going and listening to those records, the records that they can go party to turn up to. And I'm not saying that those don't have a place in society. Come on now, we had our share of records. I know my era, we grew up on the Chief Keefs and the Flockas, right? I can't be a hypocrite, but I'm just saying now we're in a whole different world. Streaming didn't count like it does count. It counts now. Adults are being outnumbered by these kids. I mean, let's just put one and one together. Adults have responsibilities. Adults have to work. Adults have to do things, meaning they don't have the amount of time as a 12, 13-year-old who has, I don't know, in class, they got a phone and they're able to get on YouTube and stream music while they're in class. That stuff counts now, the views. It wasn't like that when we were coming up, right? That stuff counts now, the streams. That stuff counts now, the views. Adults are outnumbered. We just don't have the time to sit around and do nothing like kids do, like teenagers do. It's just the reality that they consume more music than we do. We're incredibly outnumbered. By blacks, we're outnumbered by everybody. We're outnumbered by kids. We're outnumbered. Yo, it is. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you something I think. I'm telling you something I've seen. I go to sneaker conventions. I cover this stuff. I'm telling you, the music that they're listening to, they don't want no freaking hip hop, the hippie to the hip. They want the quick paced, nice tempo, whatever it is. This is like partially why R&B has died and why you see your R&B artists trying to come up tempo with it and why it's everything sped up about 10, 20 BPMs. Yo, it is the reality of where we're at. I'm not telling you something I think. So when you hear Nicki Minaj talk about this, it has to be a concern to people like me and you who care about this sport. And I don't want to see hip hop go down the drain like other genres. That's why we made such a big deal about the Post Malone situation last week, because it is a big deal. Yo, this is a huge deal. We've lost the culture. And I don't know how it's coming back, because when we get some as black people, we're always so willing to share. Because we always feel like the other side is, you made it, right? We've always did that. And until we're able to financially put up the bread, I guess the other side is making it to us, right? Until we have the bread in our communities where artists don't feel like they have to go quote unquote mainstream, right? We're outnumbered significantly. It is the reality of the situation. You guys can talk to me in the comment box. I'm gonna cut this video short because there are so many more other elements to this. Like when black artists get the stamps from white artists, and how that kind of at that time we bring their fan base, or they bring, you know, the white artist brings their fan base to the black artist, which helps that black artist. But if a black artist puts a white artist on the record, it usually does nothing for that white artist. I'm telling you about things that I know. Anyways, I'll cut this video short. You guys, please talk to me in the comment section about what Nicki Minaj stated, and I furthered that bad boy a nice little piece. I would love for you guys to talk to me in the comment box below. Very, very interesting conversation. And no, in no way am I racist. Come on now, I'm just telling you how it is. And then I had to, literally, no pun intended, but I had to make this conversation black and white, right? And it is where we're headed. And I don't know how you change this. I don't even know if we have the financial resources in our community to change it right now. So that's what's going on, guys. Subscribe to my channel. We're closing in on 100K. Yo, this is crazy journey. Thank y'all so much for traveling in with me. I go by the name of Mr. Taliaferro TV. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.